Welcome to Must See Movies, a podcast featuring reviews of old and new movies for your consideration. Now let's get on with the show, and here's looking at you, kid.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Must See Movie Podcast. I am Lawrence Trokey, and that is
Derek Leftridge.
And we are so happy that you joined us again. We are here to talk about movies, specifically old movies and new movies, so that we tell you kind of our take on them, see what you think, and if you happen to be in a situation where you're needing some advice or some pointers about what to go see, maybe something we said here today will help lead you into a place where you find a movie maybe you haven't seen before and you find a new hidden gem, as it were.
Right.
Or in case of new movies, it maybe helps you decide whether or not you want to drop $20 on a ticket to go see it if we give it a good review, or maybe we steer you away from it. So either way, this is what this is all about, so we're going to get into that. Today we've got 4 movies to discuss and then some other things to talk about. Derek's going to go ahead and get us started with his new movie for the podcast.
Well, the new movie is not necessarily today new, but it is new in the sense of the series. However, the year is 2022 is when it came out. The movie is Halloween Ends. And it is the last of a trilogy. They restarted the Halloween kind of story, kind of prolonged it, but just kind of started over 2 movies ago. This one is part of the third of that.
Okay.
First one was Halloween Kills, and now Halloween Ends.
Well, now let me stop you for a second. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
And so I am familiar with the original Halloween,
Which I will do next.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Correct.
Right?
She's in this too.
But she's in this one too.
Yeah.
Okay, so so they rebooted the series.
I think they kind of went down the road. They didn't really start it all over.
So
they
we're
just
still
kind
in
of
this...
went later. Yeah, the same thing, but
Yeah.
some of the in-between things we remember. The one about the third one that had to do with a Halloween mask. One that had to do with someone's daughter or whatever been possessed by those things are kind of gone now.
Right.
It kind of pulled it back to going to from like the original storyline.
Right.
Continuing it further on down in the world of time.
Okay.
Because they're both very old. Michael
Right.
Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, both
Carrie,
of them in their 60s,
Strode,
right?
Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are both old.
Yes, right.
Old.
And so she is the person from the original Halloween.
Yes.
And I'm trying, I got to be honest, it's been a few years since I saw it. I thought she was she originally a babysitter?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So she was babysitting, and then all this stuff's going on with the hockey mask and guy and so on.
This is not Hockey Mask Guy, but yes.
No, hockey mask. Oh, Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
is
that's
the
the
hockey.
Hockey Mask Guy. Correct.
Mike Myers is just a Halloween mask. He's got
It's,
the
actually,
latex.
trivia. It's actually patterned by Star Trek, not Spock, who played
Yep. You're talking about
Him.
William Shatner.
Yep, it was a mask that was patterned after just his regular old face, and that's what it was.
But didn't it have long hair?
Yeah, they added that.
Okay.
I'm not saying the whole mask was his
Right.
mask. It was just his face is what was kind of the form of the mask in the sense of normalcy, I guess, of just being regular,
Right.
which is weird.
Strangely enough, he's still around too.
Yes, he is.
In his
he is.
90s.
But he's not in this movie.
No, he's not. So
His mask is. No, not really. I think it's been changed quite a bit.
okay, fair. But so Mike Myers though, when and I didn't see this movie. Mike Myers, when he shows up to start doing his thing, he looks somewhat like his presence is somewhat like what
the
he
one
used to
before this. The one before this movie, you actually kind of saw him without the mask on, not really, but kind of like from the back, from the side to
kind of
a
like
point.
a Darth Vader thing.
But he's very old.
Okay.
Him and his sister, the Jamie Lee Curtis character, Laurie Strode, they're got to be
Wait, they're
60s.
brother and sister?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a.
When was that revealed?
Okay, so I'll go jump ahead.
Spoiler alert.
I'll go to the original story.
I'm sorry. No. I'm screwing you all up.
No, but this is kind of hard to do when I do this. But I'll jump back and forth real quick.
Go ahead.
So the original Halloween was this little boy ends up killing his sister.
Okay.
When his parents come back from whatever, this little boy kills his sister.
But Jamie Lee Curtis, you
Is
just
the
told
other
me
sister.
2 sisters.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. 2 sisters, 1 brother. So then they find out in the story that he is also Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis's brother also, and he's trying to come get her and take care of her like he did his sister, the other sister, the older sister.
Okay, so he killed his older sister.
Correct. He killed their older sister.
Correct.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I'm with you.
And then it becomes all the craziness of him being psycho and him not being able to die and getting hurt and everything. So to kind of jump back and forward, the original one, complete classic, probably starts the beginning of all types of horror movies in the sense of the intensity. This guy never ran. This guy walked across the street to kill you. And it was and great music, and
he just took his sweet ass time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my thing here real quick, and I'm gonna do the first one since I'm already halfway into it. Okay, now we're going to listen to a clip from both movies back to back to kind of give you an idea of what it's like.
Halloween night. A small American town. 15 years ago. Michael? Halloween.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. I think he'll come back.
Exploring uncharted territory.
Totally charted.
Just talk.
Sure. The only reason she babysits is to have
Halloween.
Okay, Linda.
Come on out.
Halloween. The night he came home.
Come on, let's go. Come and get me, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Then the second one. First one done by John Carpenter, who actually did who was the premise, the writer, or basically
Genius.
of the franchise. Yeah,
He's a genius.
he's a composer, he's an actor, he's a writer. He did the music for it.
Yes.
he did everything, and it was
and
all
that
great.
music became iconic.
Yes,
So it's because I guess maybe because of the success of the movie, but also the music itself.
yeah.
Is just so gripping. I mean, it
is.
really puts you into this
yeah.
thing about something bad's going to happen here.
And what's great is a movie is supposed to be, it's in Haddonfield, Illinois, which may or may not exist. I don't know if that town really exists, but whatever you see in the movie is California. And if
Really?
you look sometimes and you see a shot of the street and you see the trees hanging over, whatever like
Yeah.
that, keep looking because further down you're seeing palm trees.
Palm trees.
And it's just so
Yeah.
crazy that there's all these little things here and there, but
Right.
it was a great movie. And again,
Do you
it was-
remember-
that one, real quick, that
Yeah,
one
sure.
was done. The original was in
I
1975,
was just going to ask.
which is a long, long, long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
very, very old, very classic, on the list of horror movies. I'm a Friday the 13th fan. I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm.
that today. However, on the list of movies, if you want to see a good horror movie, still holds up to today, the original Halloween.
I agree 100%.
Okay.
And it definitely has to go on the must-see movie list.
It is.
Just because of that.
It would for me. This
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
one here is the end of it all. This one here is where we end up having a. This is, like I said, in a third of a set. This is the third one. And Michael Myers is, what we find out, is hiding in a sewer system underground
Sounds
because
about right.
he's still out there, whatever like
Yes.
that.
And he's batshit crazy.
He's
and
always been that way. Yes,
murderous,
Correct. There's even been an
evil.
episode. There's even been a movie where at the end of it looks like he dies because it looks like he dies at the end of all of them.
Sure.
And he ends up getting away, living with this homeless guy. Makes no sense. How is he a homeless guy if he has a home? But he is, because they're living out in the woods and living in a cave and living
Yeah.
whatever like that. The guy brings him back to life. And how does Michael pay him back? He kills him.
Of course.
So this
Yes.
one here it starts off with Laurie getting her life together. Laurie Strode, his sister.
Yes.
She has a granddaughter she lives with. They have a life going on. The granddaughter meets this local kid because she's at the hospital working as a nurse. He has to come in because he's getting beat up because he had a situation where he was babysitting a child, and that child frightened him, so to speak, in a sense of they were messing around in the house and hide and seek, and he accidentally killed the child by knocking the child off of some stairs onto a floor, and the child dies.
Christ.
He is now a pariah of the town.
Yes.
So he's having problems. He gets chased into the woods. He gets chased into the cave. He meets Michael Myers. And then some weird stuff starts happening. Like he starts feeling as if he's being kind of possessed by Michael, but then he wants to be Michael's killer buddy.
Okay, so he just goes totally batshit.
So he goes
Yeah.
batshit.
Yeah.
So and I'm jumping ahead and stuff like this,
Sure.
but they kind of now it's him and Michael coming to the surface to do these things.
Yeah.
And Michael is still looking for his sister, Laurie Strode. Ends up, they take care of some people, and actually the kid's mother also.
Oh,
and
boy.
they end up finding Laurie. There ends up being an iconic fight between him and Laurie. This
Yes.
kid that is his buddy, so to speak. He goes to the wayside of death because
Yeah.
he's just not what Michael wants. And so he ends up.
So he gets fired, basically.
Correct. He gets fired. He's terminated.
You're fired.
Yeah, he's
You're fired.
He's terminated permanently. So Laurie and her granddaughter
Not to mix metaphors or movie things, but go ahead.
kill, beat up, stab, cut up Michael.
Yeah. He's done.
They say, we got to make sure. So they have townspeople that have come into the story that have been to the older stories and other situations where things have happened to neighboring people, whatever.
Okay.
They come along.
Yeah.
They end up saying, yes, we have to make sure he's dead. So there's a scene where Laurie is taking Michael down this road in a something. I forgot.
He's
It's a car,
in
truck.
pieces at this
He's
point,
not
right?
yet. They
Oh,
put
no,
him in
he's
a
not.
chipper at the end of it
Oh,
to
Christ.
grind him up. I think
Ooh.
Michael's dead.
Okay.
So that's where we're left at is Halloween ends. Michael's done. The story is over.
Michael's sushi at this point.
Right.
Basically, yes.
If you like the first one, if you like the story, if you like the series, watch them
Right.
both. But
Right.
for sure, the first one should be on your list.
Well, and I'll tell you something about the first one.
I got a few more things about the second one when you're.
I
or the last
do
one
not
when you're
want to interrupt you, but
No, go.
Okay. So the thing that I appreciate the most about it is it's original. The characters are believable. The struggle feels real when Jamie Lee Curtis is trying to, get away from this maniac that's trying to kill her. And again, John Carpenter is just, he may not have made, Oscar-winning movies or any of that kind of stuff, but he makes some very entertaining movies. Escape from New York,
Yeah.
is one of my favorites. So I can't say enough good things about John Carpenter. He's also made some stinkers too, like Escape from L.A. was kind of,
Yeah.
But Big Trouble in Little China,
Great.
another amazing movie. So he really does a good job with his characters. They are believable, and Halloween ruined a lot of horror movies for me, and I'll say that because the other horror movies never reached the same bar, never hit the same standard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few that did, that got over the believability bar for me and actually made me give a shit about the characters. You and I watched a ton of horror movies as teenagers.
And a ton of B-rated horror movies.
Oh, terrible, terrible movies. Terrible movies that, were only there for the special effects, for all the grim and gruesome things. And I wasn't really a grim and gruesome blood and guts kind of guy. Still not really that kind of guy. But if it's done well and there's a compelling story and the characters are engaging and you're drawn into their worlds, then I'll buy it. I'll go for the ride. I'll go on the scary hayride through the cornfield with the maniacs if I care about the people I'm with and the story I'm hearing and all that kind of stuff. And that's what John Carpenter did for me. Now, when I saw Halloween 2, and what's his name? Donald Pleasant was the doctor.
Donald Pleasance. He was in the first one, too, I believe.
He probably was.
Yeah.
We'll check this in the footnotes, but Donald Pleasant, I am a fan of his in anything that he's been in.
I'm a fan of his overacting in the movies.
Well,
that was pleasant for me.
he's a little William
Donald
Shat-
Pleasance. He was
Yes.
pleasant for me. Yes, sorry.
He's a little William Shatner-esque
Oh, yes.
in his delivery sometimes. But I remember him from older movies. I mean, we're going way back into like the 50s and 60s and some of the World War II stuff that he was in, all that. He always seemed a little off in his delivery of who he was, which made perfect sense why he'd be in Halloween, and he was perfect as the doctor who was trying to help Michael. And then when I saw Halloween 2, and I'm trying to remember, I'm not 100. Again, this is a footnote thing. I'm not 100% sure how many years between Halloween 1, you said 1975, right?
Oh, okay.
And Halloween 2. Probably at least, I would say, a decade.
The making of the movies?
Yes.
I don't know about that, but time-wise, I think it was pretty close to itself.
Right. Well, in the universe, maybe it was this close.
Yes, universe.
But what I'm saying is that the actual making of the movies, Halloween 2, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis was in that, and again, Donald Pleasant, that movie was not so good. It was okay, but it wasn't the same gripping, engaging story that Halloween, the first one, was.
Halloween 2 was done in 81.
Okay, so we're, within not 10 years, but
I think at that point
6 years.
To kind of go what I'm thinking, because I know 3 only had Michael Myers in it as on a TV in a security guard's office watching Halloween.
Really?
He was not in it. It was called Season of the Witch and was about Halloween masks that possessed kids.
Yeah, see, I already checked out at that point.
So, but Halloween 2 was probably the last one they were going to do with Michael Myers.
Right.
3 didn't have it. Everybody went up in arms.
Yeah.
Now we have 10 of them.
Right.
Because they wanted him back in it, and that's why it happened.
Well, they
so
went the
it makes
way
sense
of-
that it may have crapped the bed to you.
Yes.
Because that was probably the last one they were going to do, probably because it crapped the bed.
Yes.
But then again, then it just becomes
Well,
a cult.
and who directed Halloween 2, if you got that handy there?
Let me see.
So I don't have to footnote it.
Oh, whoever Rick Rosenthal is.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I guess
Never
the
mind.
first one, the only one was probably Carpenter was the first one that
Which-
he directed it,
right.
but he also, I guess, wrote it, produced it.
Right. It was his baby.
Yeah, so he's the creator of all these movies.
Yeah.
He gets that thing, but he's not, I don't know all of them, but
Yes.
he's probably not directed any others.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that his special sauce, whatever it was that he had for the first one, was missing from the second one. And at that point, I checked out, so I didn't check out the other, 7 or 8
Yeah, right.
before you end up at Halloween the End or something like that. So, or what is it?
Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends,
Yeah.
yes. So, in that sense, he ruined a lot of horror movies for me because I just couldn't watch them because they were just these characters are stupid. They're making bad decisions. It's like that, and maybe it was a Progressive insurance commercial where they're spoofing a horror movie like this, and in it they say, well, you make a lot of bad decisions when you're in a horror movie.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And they're like running around. It's like, quick, let's run into the garage where all the chainsaws
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
And the murderer is standing there, and he's just rolling his eyes like, can these guys be that more dumb? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Can it be so stupid? So, and that's kind of where I was. I was rolling my eyes
Yeah.
like, oh, really? You're gonna go out in the woods, and then you see something, and you're just gonna kind of ignore that, and then you're gonna end up dead. So that said, that's how high a bar or how high a pedestal I put John Carpenter's work on. He's done other horror stuff. They Live.
Yeah.
Even though that's got Roddy. What is it?
Roddy Piper.
Yeah,
and
thank
it's
you.
a great. Okay. See, that should be on the list.
It's a little more
because
sci-fi too.
It's very
Yeah.
sci-fi, but it is a great. To a young Derek in his teenage years,
Right.
maybe even preteen, probably teenage years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an old man now, but anyway, in his teenage years, that was because I love wrestling. Still
Yes.
love wrestling to a point.
Yes.
But my thing is that it had him in there, and it was a cool wrestling fight in an alley.
Yeah.
However, the story itself was still pretty kick-ass.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just made.
I mean, it's
was
simple, but it's
really
just there.
well done, and in the hands of anyone else,
Yeah.
it'd have been shit.
Right.
It'd have been just horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But John Carpenter, man, he's got that special sauce. He's got that
Right.
magic, and he's able to pull it off, and was made it a very entertaining film. So
Right.
that's all I'm saying is that
Okay.
because of Halloween, most horror movies. I mean, there are the ones that kind of rise to the top. I mean, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, which was original in some ways.
Yeah, I think what we got to think about too is that these original and Friday 13th, the original, was also a really good one too. Those were actually stories written kind of thing like that. After that, you kind of got to look at it as well if people like it. Like the first one, Friday 13th, and we're not even talking about that, but that didn't even have Jason in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it had his mom. So it was just a story about that with maybe no intention of whatever, maybe a second, whatever like that. But they weren't written as movies. Then all of a sudden they just become horror candy for us.
Yes.
And that's just what it
Right.
became afterwards. So
Yeah, it was
luckily
like-
we do
it's
have
like-
those original good ones.
It's like porn. I mean, it's basically what it is. It's horror porn
yeah.
for those people who want to see heads explode and faces pulled off. And
Well,
all that
I
kind of
got a
stuff.
few things here, and then I'm done with mine.
Go ahead.
This movie, Halloween Ends, has a couple of things that are interesting. Blumhouse was the production company. They do a lot of horror-related movies and bringing horror movies back and things
Okay.
like that. So they're very popular with that. So that's one thing that's really, really good for it. And again, this is probably not on my list of things you have to watch, but if you like the first one and you're into it, you've liked it, and you haven't seen the last one, which is apparently the final one, watch it.
so it kind of ties up everything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it gives it a final thing.
Sure.
And one of the people on it that was brought in because he was a writer for Blumhouse was Danny McBride, who we know is in a lot of comedies like Pineapple Express. He was in I can't think of it now, but he had his own HBO show.
He's kind of a goofy-looking guy.
Well, I don't know about
Sideburns.
that. He's got hair.
Well, curly hair.
Yeah, curly hair.
Sideburns.
Yeah.
Goatee.
But I think what I
kind
heard,
of cocky.
yeah, that's his character.
But stupid cocky.
I think what he likes to do is he likes the horror genre, and he's the one that was part of the 3 series of movies, bringing it back to kind of where it was before with you got the scary guy, and there you are. So that was something that was pretty interesting to me also on that.
Okay. So if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he was also he's been in a couple of things that were horror sci-fi too, like Land of the Lost.
Probably, yeah. There's people, if the
Yeah.
people listening to this are just like, oh, you idiots. The Righteous Gemstones, which is a show on HBO, which is really good.
Yeah.
Eastbound and Down, that's what it was. It was an HBO show where he was a baseball player, went over to Mexico and stuff. But anyway, it was hilarious. It's
Okay.
it's all him.
Yeah, so
So-
I was thinking like Land of the Lost, and then the horror comedy This Is the End.
Yeah.
With him and a bunch of other comedic types that I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was like end of the world kind of stuff.
But what's interesting is there's a comic kind of guy, a comedian type of guy mindset that's helping develop these movies. And
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, did very well.
Yeah, well, sometimes those guys really know how to get at the emotion of the thing, and they surprise you for sure. So okay, so I know it was kind of a mishmash, and I didn't help things
It's all
at
your
all.
fault. That's fine.
I screwed it all up, but those are the reviews, and
That's
so you're
reviews.
recommending Halloween, the original
Original
for the
Halloween
list.
for sure, from
Yeah.
from now till forever.
Yeah.
The last one, if you like Halloween, you like those kind of movies, and you've actually been watching the series and you haven't seen the final one, watch it.
Okay, but otherwise,
Otherwise,
you know,
you're fine about it.
it's not worth messing with. Okay, so my movies for our podcast today, the new one, and it's also a little older, kind of like yours was, but not maybe quite as old as yours. Mine is from 2025. It was released into theaters in September of 2025, and then it came out on streaming, and right now you can find it on Hulu if you have the Hulu subscription. It's called Code 3, and it's with Rainn Wilson. The director is Christopher Leone, which I tried to find something in his credits worth noting, and really wasn't much. So we'll just move on. But again, stars Rainn Wilson, who you know from The Office primarily.
Yeah.
That's what he's most known for. But again, I mentioned before, I loved him in movies like The Rocker. And he's been in some other things. Great actor. Little Ray Howery, who, if you don't recognize the name, if you remember the friend of Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy,
Yeah.
his buddy, who's the security officer.
He's hilarious.
He is hilarious. And he's hilarious in this movie.
He is good in this. I've seen this one. He's really good in it.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's, as you like to say, a gut punch in the sense of from beginning to end. It is one that, wow, it's a dark
Has some
comedy.
dark stuff in it, doesn't it?
Yes, it
But,
does.
I mean, even though you say that, it's not super dark, in my opinion.
No.
I mean, some of the stuff about mental health.
Yeah.
And
Healthcare.
Yes, and then the scene with the guy who's having the problems. He's a vet, and he's a big black
That
gentleman.
was a pretty interesting.
That was
a
an
good one.
intense scene,
Very
especially
intense, yes.
with the police and kind of wondering what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
So like I said, Little Ray Howery, and then Amy Carrero, who you wouldn't necessarily know from.
Did not know her at all.
Yeah, she's kind of, but she looks. I mean, when I look at her, she
Looks
looks like
familiar.
somebody I would
Yeah.
remember had I seen her in anything.
Yeah.
But I had not. But she did a good job in this, and then it also stars Rob Riggle.
Oh man, he is great in this. He is such. I've heard him on interviews. He was actually a Marine too, I think, in real life.
Yeah,
He was a
actually,
Marine.
he is
Yeah.
to be specific,
Okay.
a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Marine Reserves.
Okay, he is. Man, he can be intimidating and he can be a complete asshat. Man, he is terrible, and he is great as that character. He's got the arrogance down pat to make it almost reality.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah, he is.
He makes this movie, that part of the movie, he evens that out with being a doctor, being in the situation, because that's what his character is.
Yes.
Being a doctor in this situation and just being a complete ass.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's funny and a complete asshole, he's your guy.
Even at some point they try to make you feel bad for him, but it
Right.
didn't help me any.
Right, for sure, for sure. And again, you also probably have seen him on The Daily Show as one of the correspondents, so does a good job there as well. And then Yvette Nicole Brown, if you remember her, probably the best thing that you would remember her from is the series Community, which was about adults going back to community college to get degrees to try to redirect their lives.
And in this movie, it was Rainn Wilson's character's boss, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And she has I'm going to include the clip
Where she's talking to the lady from the
from the nursing
home.
Oh, my God.
It starts off great, and then it just gets better.
She is so funny. And
yes.
she stole the show right
Yes,
there at
agreed.
that point. So basically, Code 3, if you don't know, is about Randy, who is a burnt-out paramedic. That's Rainn Wilson's character. And he's trying to get another job to escape the grind of being a paramedic. It's just really wearing on him. Randy accepts, finally, he gets an offer, even though he blows the interview big time. He just totally
down.
Yeah, torpedoes that. But he accepts an offer from an insurance company to get a job there, just kind of working in a cubicle kind of thing. And this happens about midway through a grueling 24-hour shift with his partner. And one thing I don't understand, and maybe it's just me, maybe somebody's got to explain this to me, maybe you know, But when it comes to these jobs like paramedics and doctors and things like that, when you're in the training phase, I know it's important for you to really immerse yourself and get a lot of experience and to do a good job. But I have to wonder if putting you through such grueling hours, 24 hours straight on the job.
Yeah.
And, my daughter Rachel was an EMT for a while. Now she's a nurse, and she's working towards her degree in being a nurse practitioner. She'll have that in a few months. And when she was an EMT, she worked for a short stint on a ambulance for an ambulance company. And there were points where they just parked the ambulance somewhere, and they would just say, okay, let's get some sleep. And they just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because the shift is long, and there's no real breaks or anything like that. Rainn Wilson talks about that in the movie about being part of the gig. So I just can't understand why you would want to put these people who are putting people's lives in their hands, and they're sleep deprived, and they're tired, and they're hungry, and they're just wore out after 10 hours, 12 hours, Why would you do that to them and make them work these long shifts? However, I just watched the reboot of Scrubs. I don't know if you're familiar with the Scrubs.
I didn't know they
show.
rebooted it. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, and ABC also. And in it, it was kind of a contrast between the old Scrubs when all the residents were, again, kind of put through this grueling schedule and these grueling processes. Now they're required to take naps. Like they're kindergartners or something like that. So maybe things have changed. I don't know. But when I see movies like this, and when I hear stories about the kind of shifts and the kind of things that these doctors and nurses and paramedics have to go through, it's like, why would you want to do that to the people who are responsible for saving people's lives and have to make very important decisions when they can barely see straight? I don't understand it. But again, if you know out there somewhere in the podcast listening world what the answer is, let me know, because I am clueless, as you can probably tell from just listening to me. But so Randy accepts this job because he wants to get out of it because he's just beating his ass. And he has a partner who's Mike, that's the little Ray guy. And he also, in this 24-hour shift, has to train someone who, her name is Jessica. And there's a little bit of a surprise at the end about her. But in the beginning, you just think that she's just another one of these paramedic trainees who's riding along to try to figure out what's going on. And so he's sour and he's completely jaded by his experiences. And he tries to warn Jessica of the perils of being a paramedic, being disrespected. One of the things they start the show with after he delivers a patient to the hospital is they start running through the salaries of all the people in the emergency room.
That was eye-opening.
Yeah, it starts with the doctor who's like, making $300,000, $400,000, all the way down to the custodian who's still making better wages than the frickin' paramedics.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, poor guy, he just can't cut a break. So, you get a sense of just how shit on these poor guys are. And they're disrespected by their peers, their coworkers, even the patients, are rough to them, and they're underpaid, as I was talking about. So anyway, through this chaotic night so during their shift, their 24-hour shift, they experience a very chaotic night. There's several things that they encounter. Now, obviously, this is amped up for the movie. I would hope a regular paramedics experience, even in a busy city, is not nearly as chaotic as this. But again, if you're out there and correct me if I'm wrong, but they have a very intense night of emergencies, including a tragic child fatality and a tense police encounter, which is what we were talking about earlier with the gentleman who is a veteran who has some PTSD and some issues, and he needs medication. And the VA only provides him with like 20 days worth of medication.
Yeah, he's got 10 days. He got to figure it out.
Yeah, he's just got to rough it, right?
And he's hoping it's a good month.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the president of the United States.
Yeah. And I think
Standing on his balcony.
what's kind of nice about it, not nice, I mean, this movie is dealing with a lot of intense things.
Yeah.
But I think one thing is that it does have some regulars in it. You do have the gentleman with the PTSD that they've obviously dealt with before.
Yes.
And other people to it, and also a homeless man that they make bets on that he's naked.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is a good story, but very intense and not what I was expecting. I think I was thinking more comedy than darkness.
Yeah, so it's like they took a perfect mix of comedic elements and they added in maybe realism, maybe some darker aspects, just because some parts of this job are not great. Like, for instance, when Rain is in the diner with Mike and Jessica, so Randy and Mike and Jessica are trying to eat. It's like the first time Randy's had a chance to eat, in like 10 hours, 12 hours. And there's somebody in the diner who sees them. It's like, oh, tell us your worst story. And they tell him.
On that note, let me interrupt real quick. One thing, too, that you'll see, because I think it's a movie you should see, but he does break the fourth wall.
Yeah, a lot.
Quite a
lot.
couple times.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it does, it kind of throws you off, but then it brings you into the story a little bit better and explains things. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
I have a comment about that, but I'm glad you brought that up. But anyway, and he does that in this scene in particular. But this lady's like, oh, tell us the worst thing you've ever seen. And he goes on to talk about this woman who's suffering from postpartum depression, puts her baby in a microwave and cooks her baby in a microwave, and Mike and him both make a joke about, I asked for it well done, that kind of thing.
Right.
So everybody's laughing, and then he does break away from the fourth wall after she asks, hey, was that for real? And he breaks away. He's like, hey, this is kind of shit that we have to deal with, that thing. But so anyway, throughout the chaotic night, you got all that stuff going on, and then the main thing is this relationship between Jessica and Randy. He's training her, and he doesn't want to train her. He's trying to get her out of this thing. He just wants to leave this job. When he finds out that he's got the insurance job, he's all happy, and he doesn't care what happens anymore, but they still have to finish the shift. And Jessica is trying to learn what this is like, trying to figure out what's going on, but he is totally checked out, and he's jaded, and so on. So she's got to fight with him over some things. And then there are those moments where he is in training mode and he's telling her what to do, and she doesn't accept it.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in this movie where there's a gentleman who has a motorcycle accident, and
sorry, I'm not laughing because of that. I apologize. But if you see it, oh, never mind. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very visual, this particular scene. And what I love is that a nurse shows up, and she's got a little name tag on. Looks like she's like a school nurse or something like that. And she pulls up. She goes, "Oh, I seen the ambulance, and I figured you all would need help."
My patient.
It's like immediately she assumed that the paramedics don't know shit, and that she's a nurse, so she shows up to tell everybody what to do. And they get her escorted away by a police officer who happens to know what's going on, and that these guys are the best ones for it. But anyway, Jessica learns a valuable lesson during that experience, and she comes to recognize that Randy does know what he's talking about. And maybe even though he's jaded and cynical and burnt out, there is something there.
He does care.
Intelligence and
especially
caring
with the
and empathy.
Little boy that was playing baseball.
Absolutely. He worked his ass off on that one. So anyway, let's listen to a film clip for that movie.
Medic 42, respond emergent to psychiatric patient.
$20 said he's gonna be butt ass naked.
Oh, there you have it. It's a draw.
Shirt, no pants. That's like Winnie the Pooh.
Mike, you gonna let me drive today?
No. I will. You heal.
I should mention at this point that you're all going to die.
Heart attack, car accident, fork in the toaster, or peanut allergy.
Drowning's the worst way to go. Best way to die? Decapitation. You guys ever see anyone choke to death?
All we want to do is save your life. Some of you don't make it easy.
Get out of my house! Gun!
I didn't know you could run that fast.
Most people on this job can't last a year. They can't hack it.
Take my dollar, you mother...
You are senior. You get the student.
No.
Is there another paramedic I should put them with? Somebody better than you?
Nobody's better than me.
Let's hit it.
Why are you here?
Because I want to save lives. You have people's lives in your hands. How can you not care?
I'm burning out. The whole system is broken. I need the hell out of EMS. I'm quitting. That's it. I'm out of here.
Please don't go out like this.
You gonna miss me?
We're just co-workers, man. You act like I'm like your best friend. Damn it, I'm his best friend.
Can you feel the...
I got into EMS because I really wanted to help people.
Officers, we've got this totally under control.
But this is a job.
Oh, come on! You clock in, you clock out.
I don't think you really believe that.
Can you feel the...
I'm the President of the United States!
Mr. President, let's Secret Service, man. We're here to evacuate you and take you to the White House.
What about the First Lady and the Vice President?
We're gonna send a second chopper.
She's been having a little trouble breathing lately.
Define lately.
Hello.
Randy, who is this nursing home lady screaming at me on the other line?
Look, these people are idiots, okay? They had a patient of theirs that was dead for hours.
Randy, you have got to learn to manage these people and stop acting like an asshole to everybody. Now I gotta deal with this mess. Carol, if you were assessing that patient, would you classify them as alive? I see. No, you're right. I don't have a nursing degree. I was trained as a paramedic. Well, let me ask you something, Carol, since you deal in elder care. My grandmother died 12 years ago at the age of 99, and we buried her next to my grandfather at that cemetery out by the airport. You know the one I'm talking about? Well, let me ask you this. If you and I were to go out there together right now and dig up my grandmother's corpse, do you think you could revive her? Because that makes about as much sense as what you're saying to me right now. Your patient was dead, bitch. And your people didn't realize it for 5 or 6 hours. That is called negligence. But you thought you just call 911 and cover your asses. Is that it? Well, how about you and I call your administrator and go over this incident point by point and see which one of us still has a goddamn job by the end of the day? Oh, you're suddenly okay? We're clear now, Carol? Great. Well, if you have any more problems, my name is Shanice. You call me immediately. You got that? Damn right.
Okay, so my take on this film is, I love this film. This is a great film.
It's good.
Rainn Wilson's performance as a grumpy, jaded old-timer who's burnt out and needing to escape is just great. Spot on.
And he has the look of it.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't know if he cared or didn't care, but he has the look.
Rainn can come off kind of grummy when he wants to.
He did well.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I'm sure he cleans up good, too, but he can come off looking kind of shabby if he needs to. Little Ray provides a perfect comedic counterbalance, while Amy Carrero, who's young and naive, has this determined attitude that makes her perfect to go up against Rainn Wilson's cynical view and all that kind of stuff. And then the emergencies they encounter on their shift are hilarious, outrageous, terrifying, dark, and diverse. They really go through the ringer on this 24-hour shift. And then, as we said, Rob Riggle is perfect as the asshole emergency doctor, who himself is burnt out and cynical.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get a moment of insight into that later in the film where you see, he's suffering from the same thing that Rainn Wilson is. He just takes his frustration out on everybody instead of Wilson, who, like you said about the fourth wall, he's very reflective and talks to us, the audience, about these things rather than just spewing his anger and grief and frustration out on everybody around him. So, and then, as we mentioned, Yvette Nicole Brown is great in this movie, supportive, and has that hilarious scene. And my verdict on this one is definitely a must-see movie, and it's got to go on the list. Would you agree?
I don't know if I'm going to 100% agree.
Okay.
I do like it, though. I do like it. So at this point, sure. We'll it's in my mind, it's tentatively on the list.
Right. Well, no, I'm not trying to bend your arm or
Ouch.
Cause you to do anything that you don't want to do. For me, if I want to watch it again and I can laugh at it again at the same places that I did the first time, it's one of those ones that's sticking. It's sticking with me.
I get that, and like we had a conversation way before we started this podcast, is it one that you would recommend to somebody else and that somebody else is going to enjoy?
Yes.
It falls in that category
100%. For sure. So that's why I put it on the list.
Right.
I mean, but I personally enjoy it that much as well. So, but I could, if you're a little iffy on it, I understand. Totally understand. So keeping in the theme of being exposed to new things and being trained on the job and that sort of thing. The obvious choice for an old movie for me was Training Day from 2001.
Wow.
Yes, right. Wow is right. It's directed by Antoine Fuqua, he's known for the Equalizer franchise.
Yep.
If you've seen that with Denzel Washington
Yep.
doing those, who's also very good in those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Tears of the Sun, he directed that, if you're familiar with that, with Bruce Willis back in 2003. And then the one that you probably have heard of, Olympus Has Fallen,
Yes.
2013. So anyway, Training Day stars Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, who's been in a lot of things, and then an oldie, Scott Glenn, who is probably one of his iconic roles was in The Right Stuff.
Yep.
Remember him from that.
Yeah.
But he's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of
Mhm.
stuff. So
He's one of those people that when he was born looked 40.
Exactly. Yeah. And now that he's, in his 90s?
Probably.
I think he's still alive. If he's in his 90s, I mean, he doesn't necessarily look
different
in his 90s, right?
Exactly.
You know, he's like timeless in
Yes.
some ways. So anyway, Training Day, if you're not familiar with it, follows a rookie LA cop who's Jake Hoyt, and that's Ethan Hawke's character, through a harrowing 24-hour evaluation, again with the 24 hours.
24th.
Yes, with corrupt narcotics detective Alonzo Harris, and that's Denzel Washington's character.
Yes.
In South Central LA. Alonzo forces Jake into illegal and morally compromising situations, including him to take drugs and, explaining that it was necessary for him to do that so he doesn't look like a cop when he's dealing with drug dealers. But he's also, they had an ulterior motive for that, of course, we'll get into in a second. And then also does a setup for a murder. When Jake refuses to take part in this robbery murder of a drug dealer, who's that Scott Glenn's character, who also happens to be a retired police officer that Alonzo knew in the past. Anyway, Alonzo sets Jake up to be killed by gang members after he drops him off at their house under the guise of needing to just stop there. So Jake doesn't want to go along with killing Scott Glenn's character and stealing from him. And Alonzo has a crew at this point. He's been in this narcotics division for a long time. He supervises people, and his people are all like him. They're all in it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
They'll maybe do some things that will fight crime a little bit, but I think the main motivation here is just it's all about getting what I can get.
Mm-hmm. And this movie is actually based on a true character who was the Alonzo character.
I didn't know that.
He was a police officer that was doing the same type of things. He actually had, and I think the movie Rampart came from it also, which I think has Woody Harrelson in it.
Okay.
It was a story in L.A. where he got caught, and he ended up talking and telling about the L.A. Police Department and how it was corrupt. So he is Denzel Washington grew his facial hair like the actual cop.
Really?
That was doing that.
Okay.
And another thing that was been interesting, I learned about it. I've seen this movie a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredibly wild.
Yes.
Denzel Washington is my South St. Louis came out. Washington. Denzel Washington was great in this. Won an Oscar for it.
Yep.
And also, did you know Ethan Hawke was one of the only people that made it because Denzel Washington interviewed with him and did the script with him, but Denzel did not do the script. He went off script. Ethan Hawke thought it was bullshit. He did with him the scenes that Denzel did the ad-lib
improvising,
and then he came back. He was going to tell them to screw it. Came back, and Denzel's like, "No, you're the only one that kept up with me."
Uh-huh.
And another interesting thing was the Ethan Hawke character. Originally, they wanted Eminem.
Well, yeah, okay.
But, he didn't do that because he had to make this little movie called 8 Mile.
Oh, well.
That did about 100 million more nationwide or worldwide than this movie did.
So he did okay.
However, he did okay. However, I don't think he would have been very well because Ethan Hawke was more milquetoast white, and Eminem would have been more of a street guy in a sense, and that's what the Denzel character was.
Yes.
But that would be pretty damn amazing if those two would have been in that movie together.
That would have been interesting. Maybe not the Ethan Hawke character, Jake, but maybe one of his crew. You
Yeah.
know, Eminem being one of the crew.
Yeah.
But again, you know, he had his own thing to do.
Right.
So
And then also,
yeah.
I was going to tell you too. What'd you say the director's name was again?
That was Antoine Fuqua.
Fuqua. Yeah. Denzel Washington. I'll use my pronouns. There was another director on the movie, and Denzel didn't want that guy, so Denzel got him let go by Warner Brothers, and then Fuqua brought in
there you go
to do the movie because it was more of
Sure.
a gritty, wanted to type of do it, and they actually did film in East LA parts where gangs actually were.
Wow. Well, I mean, Denzel's got that kind of power.
He's got stroke.
That time, you know.
He's got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he could definitely.
I mean, he was, and that was funny too. Here's the last thing I have here, real
Yes.
quick, trivia wise. It was one of he was like, okay, all these other great actors can be bad guys, and I can't because the NAACP didn't want him playing a bad black character in a movie.
Right.
And
right.
he's like, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing. We'll get into that in a second. But let me finish up the little synopsis here. So, again, Alonzo is going to set Jake up by dropping him off at this gang house, thinking he paid the gang members to kill him. And, I mean, that's a brutal scene, too, where they're about ready to blow his head off
Is
in
this
a bathtub.
the poker game?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they're about ready to blow his
yeah.
head off in a bathtub. And the only thing that saves his ass is that he's got a wallet in his pocket from a girl that he saved earlier that day who was about to get raped by some guy in an alley, and it ended up being somebody related to one of these gang members, the leader guy, and he calls his cousin who says, yeah, you know, this cop stopped this guy and whatever, and, you know, that's the reason why the cop had the wallet in his pocket because she had dropped it. And so that saves his ass, and he's able to get out of there.
Saves him literally because the gun does not leave his face until he gets done with
right.
the phone call.
I mean, he walked out of there with like little rings of the barrel in his cheek,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
So then he goes to confront Alonzo, who's at his baby mama's house, and he ends up shooting Alonzo in the ass to stop him. And at the same time, while this confrontation's going on, all the residents of this housing project that they're at come out, and there's a lot of gang members there as well. Mm-hmm. And Alonzo's thinking, these are my people, right? You know, they'll step to whatever I tell them. And he's trying to get them to shoot this guy, Jake, and nobody wants to do it because they're sick and tired of Alonzo and his shit. And so they're just standing around watching, and then they end up actually helping Jake. And I'm just spoiler alert, by the way. And Jake walks out of there with the money that Alonzo had collected and needed to pay off a debt to a Russian mobster. Mm-hmm. And then he ends up meeting his fate because of that.
And by the way,
yes,
Denzel Washington, I heard the original script was for his Alonzo character to live.
Really?
And Denzel said, nope, he's got to die.
Wow, okay.
He said, I don't want to do sequels, but he's done 25 Equalizers. Back then, he didn't want to do any more sequels, and he actually did not feel, because of his acting and his feeling, he did not want that character to live.
Right. So anyway, you know, getting back to something about Alonzo and Denzel Washington, his portrayal of this guy who is just a badass and a bad dude and corrupt cop and all this kind of stuff. This is really kind of the first time we see him in this light.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he made this choice to be this character, and it opened up a world of possibilities for him. And again, it got him the Oscar, as you said. Even though he had major performances before this time something clicked with everything and the way he delivered this, and he does an amazing job.
He does.
He is anything he's been in is really, I can't think of something that he's done that has, even though the movie may not have been successful, he didn't deliver a good performance. I can't think of any movies like that. Everything he's been in, he's always delivered a good performance, and in this one, he just nails it, and again, rightly deserves the Oscar for it. Right. So let's listen to a clip of this.
In the next 24 hours, you will learn about the streets, about the choices that will force a dedicated cop over the edge, all in the name of good. In the next 24 hours, the only thing more dangerous than the line being crossed.
Today's a training day, Officer Hoyt. It's your chance to give you a little taste of reality. You think you can handle it?
Is the cop who has crossed it.
I will do anything you want me to do.
Will you? Let's see. build jails because of me. Judges have handed out over 15,000 man-years of incarceration time based on my investigations. You got today, and today only, to show me who and what you're made of. You hear me? That's it. That's what I'm talking about. First day on the job, you hit a $3 million seizure.
Police officer, get away from the girl!
No. We're not racking up arrests today.
You let him go.
What more you want?
I want justice, right?
Is that not justice?
That's street justice.
What's wrong with street justice?
Oh, what? Just let the animals wipe themselves out.
God willing.
You can't be like this.
Open your eyes. Can't you see?
Police, we got a search warrant.
You ain't no police. They're these fools.
Man, I didn't sign up for this.
You think I'm crazy, right? We communicate and talk to me. Say it. Say it.
I think you're a road cop.
Learned a lot of things on these streets, boy. Good things and bad things, too.
There's some profoundly evil people walking the streets freely right now.
I'm the police. King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
You never know. That's the point. Turned out to be a nice day, huh? It'll get darker. Guarantee you that.
So my take on the film is that this movie, in some parts, is just breathtaking.
Yep.
Because of the situation they put you in. You know, I love crime dramas, and this one delivers it big time. You know, right off the bat, as soon as Jake gets in Alonzo's car at the beginning of the movie, where he's getting introduced to Alonzo as his supervisor and trying out, basically, to be part of the narcotics team, you get that feeling as though that Jake should just get out of the car at that point and run like hell, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, man, don't go with this guy. Don't go. These bad news. I could just tell. I could just feel it from how he's carrying himself and everything else. And so that, right off the bat, just kind of sets off the tone for this thing. Alonzo, almost immediately after that, gets Jake into some shitty, rough situations, puts Jake on the defensive and makes him extremely uncomfortable while telling him the whole time that he needs to, nut up, basically, because this is what the job is, and you got to be able to step to and do what you need to do to survive in this world. And Alonzo, in the meantime, while he's doing all this, he's evaluating whether or not Jake will be part of his crew, his corrupt crew, not necessarily just a member of the narcotics team. Is he going to play ball?
Yep.
And it turns out that Jake won't play ball. So that gets him into some shit. I dreaded watching this movie again. I knew because of Code 3 I was going to watch Training Day because that just made all kinds of sense. But it's like, man, this movie is so intense, and I get
it's a lot.
So, like
it's heavy.
I just seize up and it's like, oh man, this thing is so intense. But Jake's a good guy. He's a family guy. He just wants to be a good cop, and I'm a sucker for those kind of characters. I buy into him right away. I was like, man, that's my guy.
Yep.
I'm rooting for him. And then when you see him have to be put in all these situations, have to deal with these terrible decisions, and have really literally no choice in some circumstances, just makes me uncomfortable. But that's what makes this film so good, right? It's meant to put you on the edge of your seat and make you uncomfortable and make you bite your nails and all that kind of stuff. And Denzel definitely deserved the Oscar for his role in this. So my verdict is it goes on the list.
Agreed. It's very gritty. It's a film. It's not necessarily a movie. It's a film. It's got that look. It's got that feel. And it's something that if you like good acting and you just like a good story that is violent. It's very, very violent. It's very in the city. It's got a lot of behind-the-scenes type of things that you can learn about, like I've shared with you here and there.
Right.
That's pretty interesting about it. But it was all done correctly, and all the right people were in the right spots, and I think it was a great movie to be on the list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we end up at our honorable mentions. So when I was thinking about Training Day, another training kind of movie came to mind, and that is the movie Colors from 1988.
Oh, yes. One of the best lines ever is in that movie.
Oh, right. Is that about the bull?
Yeah. Let's walk down the hill.
Yeah. So 1988, you got Robert Duvall, who I love. Is an amazing R.I.P., by the way.
Yes.
But amazing guy, does great work. And then you got Sean Penn, who also, another amazing actor, does some incredible work. In that movie, it's about a young cop being trained by an older cop, You're in L.A., you're in the gang situation, dealing with gangs, and at that point in 88, it was kind of a new thing. I mean, it may not have been new in L.A., but it was new to the rest of the world, and when Colors came out, it introduced white people, like myself, to what the gang society was a little bit like, maybe just a little taste of it. And it was a gritty movie, again, I assume very realistic in its portrayal, and again, a hard ending, like Training Day and so on. So my honorable mention would be Colors from 1988.
I'm doing horror, but the thing would be a movie based on a video game called Silent Hill. It was a pretty good classic one. It wasn't the first one, obviously, which I'm thinking, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to be doing in the future. Tron would probably have been the first one that was done, a movie done off of a video game, but it was like, for sure, just like it was.
Yeah.
This was the story part of the video game where a mom is looking for her daughter and ends up getting into this world, the Silent Hill world, which is very horror, very scary, but it's a very good story of how it gets set up, how they're put into the situation, how everything goes through the whole world.
Yeah.
So it is something that I think if you like horror and you like the kind of horror fantasy kind of stuff to a point, but if you like the video games, and this was a video game, I don't remember if I played it, but I know that they're probably bringing out another movie involved in it some years later, Silent Hill.
What year was that?
So Silent Hill was in 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And so we did the honorable mentions there. Silent Hill, 2006, Colors, 1988. And now we move into the next section, which is coming soon. You got anything coming up that you're really excited about?
Well, like I was mentioning Silent Hill, but there's another Silent Hill coming out this year.
Okay.
This one is Return to Silent Hill. Don't know a whole lot about it. I know that I'm going to see it because I like the Silent Hill, as I spoke about.
Yeah.
This is apparently a man receives a mysterious letter from someone that he lost, and he is drawn into the Silent Hill world, which is just a completely different world again, demonic and fantasy and scary. So it's going to be a good horror movie. Good ride.
Okay, cool. Again, with the horror movies.
Yep.
Seems to be your
That's my thing today.
Genre of choice. So my coming soon is a movie called Normal. It's coming out in April, and it's got the main star is Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, love him.
And Henry Winkler, of all people, who we know probably the best is the Fonz,
right?
But he's been in a lot of great movies, Waterboy.
Yeah. TV show Arrested Development.
Yes. Oh, gosh. He was hilarious in Arrested Development. Well, this is an action comedy, I think. There's some comedy in here. And if I'm not mistaken, what I'm just implying from the trailer, I think Henry Winkler is a mobster in this. Which,
that could work.
If you know Henry Winkler and anything about him, he's usually portrayed as a sweet guy or, I mean, again, but when his younger days, he's probably, more towards the Fonz or, that kind of thing. But certainly in older Henry Winkler stuff, he's more a laid-back, mellow kind of guy, neurotic, maybe a little bit. But in this one, he's got that deadly mobster look. Even though he's saying things that are not intended, like he's almost the Chamber of Commerce guy in his speech, but you can tell there's an undertone there that's pretty strange. And
kill you with niceties.
Right, exactly. So the synopsis here is, Bob Odenkirk plays Sheriff Ulysses, and he's it's a provisional posting to this quaint little Midwest American town of Normal, which was meant to be a welcome respite, I'm reading here, obviously, from both his marital woes and recent moral injuries in the line of duty. So he was a big city cop, and then he, his life kind of went through the ringer with his marriage and his career, so he makes a decision to go to a small town, and he becomes sheriff there, and he's not there long. He's getting used to things and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a bank robbery that ends up getting botched and interrupts the municipality's tranquil pace. And a dark secret is inadvertently exposed. So again, I'm reading off the
You need to dumb it down for Derek, please.
Yeah, so there's something...
He comes sheriff, and then there's bad stuff.
There's bad stuff happening. But
When does Henry Winkler come into this?
Well, he's probably part of the bad stuff, is what I'm.
Maybe I should go see this with you.
I think this would be a good one for us to see.
It would be.
So, and Ulysses soon discovers that the town is anything but its namesake, normal. So, if you watch the trailer, it's full of action and shootouts and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer. I got to check that out.
Yeah, and Bob Odenkirk, not necessarily known as the action star, but when he did Nobody and Nobody 2, as this guy who beats the shit out of people, now this kind of is something he's exploring as well in this part of his career. But that one looked really entertaining, and Bob Odenkirk is one of those guys that he can deliver a solid performance. So that's why I'm interested in that. So, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm done.
Awesome.
I'm glad. Episode 3. Good.
Yeah, another one in the bag.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're entertaining you all that are listening and you appreciate the information we're providing here. If you've got any comments for us, don't hesitate to comment on our Facebook posts when we put out the notices about the episodes coming up. Also, you can message us or you can email us at movies@gmail.com if you got anything that was email worthy. For all that, we're going to wrap up this episode now and get ready for the next one in a couple of weeks. We thank you for listening. I'm Lawrence Trokey.
I'm Derek Leftridge.
And have a great time. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
So, we have a lot of footnotes for this episode. Jamie Lee Curtis is 67 years old, only 10 years older than Derek and myself, so maybe not so old after all. Right, Derek? Haddonfield, Illinois, is the fictional, quintessential American small-town setting for most of the Halloween horror franchise. Derek misspoke about the release date for Halloween. Halloween was actually released in 1978, not 1975. Donald Pleasant is in Halloween. Halloween 2, 1981, picks up immediately after the events portrayed in Halloween. Lawrence misspoke about the horror-themed insurance commercial. It is actually Geico Insurance who put out the commercial titled Haunted, featuring characters making stereotypical decisions usually found in horror movies. The actor Scott Glenn is 87 years old. Training Day was originally titled Rampart. The name was changed following threats of legal action from the actual police department. Denzel Washington's character Alonzo Harris in Training Day is loosely based on real-life corrupt officer Rafael Perez, while Woody Harrelson's character in Rampart, 2011, is a fictionalized corrupt officer. Hope that clears things up. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time. Shirley. That's not making a bloopers. You intentionally did that.
This has been a Shady Basement production.